So in, I want to say 2019, leading into 2020, I was on a mission. I think that's shitty what I just did. Hold on. I fucked up my sound. Standard. Fuck it. 2020. Okay, whatever. It's working now. That's all I care about. Yeah, so in 2019, 2020, I spent, well, shit. Yeah. Started January of 2019 and didn't stop until May of 2020. Yeah. That was me at my most savage. Now, I went scorched earth for a number of reasons, but it doesn't actually really matter. Not anymore. It doesn't matter. Because that's like long gone. That's behind me. My son's happy and healthy, and that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. That was my only ask. Was that he was happy and he was healthy, and that he no longer felt terrified when he walked through the doors of a school. During that time, I would say, especially in January, so my son, I said this yesterday, but I am going to post this, but I'm also live streaming on Instagram because, the stalking has become so intrusive that if anything, hold on, you guys, I have to do something real quick. I don't know why. Oh, no, we are not going there. We are not going online there. So sorry. I almost went live in the wrong spot. Not that I care. I care. I overcare, actually. That's my problem. Is that I overcare. I don't know why this is doing this. Anyway, so yesterday I was in a really good mood. I was in a very good mood. And then I wasn't. My day went from... God. My day went from... It's just another week. Gotta get ready for school. Gotta get the kids ready. All things. That's what it started as. And I had the audacity to allow myself to drop my guard. Because the night prior to that, I had done something as simple as go live on my Facebook. Unbeknownst to me, here's my husband. What's up, sexy?
Who are you showing off for? You don't talk to me like that.
No, babe. No.
What are you doing?
I am
live streaming.
I'm live streaming. You're like, and I'm leaving.
Oh, that's why you called me sexy.
What?
That's why you called me sexy.
Oh, shut up. Okay. Anyway.
Am I?
You're not interrupting anything. Although I am completely thrown off now because my just
amazingly handsome husband.
No, it's not even that. Like, chaos is erupting immediately. Like, without a shadow of a doubt. Like, if chaos is going to happen, it's going to happen the moment I do this. And you're like literally playing a game with sound next to my head, and then you
just turned down.
No, it's not ready yet. You can give me huggies. Oh God. I love you.
At least there's not that much stuff here, so I can hug you.
Okay,
More.
I'm so sorry. Can you give me my green drink thing? Yeah, that. Thank you, Biddy. I'll move that table, okay?
I'm having chicken dumplings again.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, and I'm having some of the cooked steak because Meryl's making some of the cooked steak and I liked it.
Cube steak?
Cute. Oh, yummy.
Yeah, I like that.
Country fried steak.
Yeah. And if it's big pieces, I don't really like big pieces, so Grandma cuts it up for me. And I'm also having chicken dumplings. And did you know the only way I'll actually eat asparagus is this having veggie straws, because the green veggie straws is flavored asparagus, and that's the only way I'll eat it.
I know.
Veggie straws.
Duly noted. Duly noted. Duly noted.
And I tell Daddy to get some tomorrow. Because
Okay.
I like veggie straws. They're very good.
Anyway. So, what I was getting back to is that, like, yesterday, like, all hell broke loose around, I don't know what time of day. And, I wanted to say really badly that it didn't trigger my PTSD again, but it definitely did. It definitely did. And so with that, I sent an email, and then about 10:30 last night, I got really, really mad and sent another email. And then I woke up this morning to the repercussions of that.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. Michael doesn't give a shit. He's just like, just make sure you communicate through me first. It's like, okay. But long story short, and I'm not naming names. I'm not gonna do anything like that. Not that I have. The fucking irony. What I was saying though, like in 2019 to May of 2020, like I was in a really bad headspace, and I was like doing nothing but fighting like hell, and marathon. What? Why do you?
If I do this, it hurts my little thing, so I have to close my eyes lightly.
Okay. All right. I love you.
If I close my eyes really hard, it will hurt.
That's what happens when you bump your head with a weight. Yeah, maybe don't drop those on your forehead anymore.
This bump is already better, but this one just hurts. This one's already better, but this hurts when you touch.
Okay. I love you. Jesus Christ. What?
I said, info dump.
Dude, she info dumps on me all day. What are you talking about? Like, I literally told her to just, like, go somewhere and go forth and be feral and let mommy have, like, a brain break.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, school starts next week.
Your...
Yeah, I am. School starts next week. Well, at least for her. But anyway, so my husband's over here like, what's the tea? He's that bored. He's that bored. It's like, what's your tea? What's the drama with you? Anyway, so I sent a series of emails yesterday as a means to clap back because I felt extremely triggered. I felt like in the however many years you want to say, like, I've been public on, like, social media, I've never felt threatened. I've never felt like anything has been violated during that time, other than, like, when the redneck from Hall County did what he did, but that wasn't online. Like, I've never felt like somebody has invaded, like, my life and my privacy until yesterday. Or, yeah, until I found out yesterday, like, it was, like, really being invaded. Now, as for why somebody is in their feels, which the irony, I don't care. I don't care. You don't care about my feelings, do you? You don't care about any of the things that you should be caring about. You care about you. And so, with that being said, like, I'm literally re-traumatized. I was hoping like hell it was just a moment and I was like fine, and then like because my body jarred up and everything else, and I got like all the red flags that I would typically like I get, and it like got better, and then it didn't, and then this morning I woke up and like I was fumbling around on my phone, and one of the first emails I get is from my attorney telling me that like somebody was mad. Well, to which I say, what am I supposed to do other than what I'm doing? Because what we established yesterday was the fact that it doesn't matter if I'm hiding. It doesn't matter if I'm silent. It doesn't matter if I shut everything down at every angle. My life is still going to be like some kind of just, I don't know, reality television show for this unnamed entity to continue. I don't know, maybe she doesn't have, maybe they don't have enough to do. I don't know, which, you know, take it for what it is, because they have a lot to do. I want to see something real quick. Let me see if I can bring this up. I don't even know if it's been syncing. Hold on. Hopefully it did sync. It would be a shame. Hold on. Gotta. Did it not sync? Password. That was yesterday. I guess it hasn't synced today. It'll sync eventually. Maybe check it my phone and just send it to myself. I just need this to be steady for just a second. Hold, please. I'm going to go ahead and hit this, and I'm going to send it to my MacBook. There you go. Hold. I'll just leave it there for right now. So, let me show you what I'm dealing with right now. We should do that. Alright, let's go here. Downloads. I just got this. These are brand new. Date added today. These images right here. 1, 2, 3. Open. Let's see what happens. It's going to take over my screen again, isn't it? Okay. Here. You see this? Let me customize it. Bitch. I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Nope, not that large. Bring it back in. Hold, please. This is puzzling. My husband's sitting next to me laughing his ass off because I would too. Actually, let's go here. There we go. Look at that. Although, I don't know what my face would look that big. I don't really care. Anyway, so you see this thing right here? Cis vendor map. Who is the data source? Oh, wait, that's right. The school districts. The source? Of course you are. Anyway, the data source is right here. The CIS vendors, the data is submitted by the school district every year at the beginning of the school year. So we can't really say that this map from 2015 to 2016 was submitted by anybody other than what the data source states, right? Okay. Watch this. Not that it gets any better. This one, I need to really figure out how to do this better. There it goes. No, I just need that to be better like that. No, F you. Hold on, let me get to the right. There we go. I just need to not have it maximized. That'd be great. Anyway, so this one right here is for 24-25 school year. Last year. I'm going to just take myself off the screen for a second and make this large. Hold on. Which one is showing? Oh, it's this one that's showing. Okay. So the thing about this one that I guess people aren't aware of is that, again, this is something that the district submits, and I'm just going to come back in here and maximize it one more time. All right, so if it were large and you could see it, I don't know if it's zooming in on your side, but it says out of the 189 districts that we have in Georgia, 179 districts, roughly 1.24 million kids, and their data and their parents' data and everything else is housed within Infinite Campus. And then there's the other half is called Power School, and then there's the other buckets. Now, sheesh, rough. But again, I'm just zooming. I'm showing you the numbers. All right. Now I'm just going to come over here and do this and drop all that off. All right. So that being said, like that at the crux is like dead ass what I've been like on like a gag. No, it's like it was like a self-imposed thing. But I also wanted my sanity, and so getting off social media was a really good way to do that. It was. And then the day I go back, like because I'm sharing something I'm excited about, but God forbid, I'm stalked to the ends of the effing earth and back. And so, like, that's what I was saying is, like, I was really, really happy on Sunday night, and then, like, a nightmare transpired yesterday. And all I'm going to say is that if, like, people need to be really happy I don't live within the zone of the district that I would love to go speak to at a board meeting anymore. But I'll also just say that I don't really have to, because there are numerous people that will be there doing the good work for me regarding a lot. That's why I giggled, because one of the people who just hit me up informed me that he was going to be there. He's speaker number 1. I'm dead. Now, this is kind of, the timing is actually beautiful, because, you know, historically speaking, like when he when I get into a really bad mood and I start doing things like trying to burn everything down, you know, he tends to be on board with it. I'm like, cool. So the fact that he's speaker number 1, that just, yeah, because if you have ever seen I've actually found the archives of board videos, which weird flex. I don't know why they archived them and like put them in a weird spot, but I definitely found like the honey hole of all the board videos that have ever taken place in the district. Yeah, he spoke that night before. Like I think he actually may have been speaker number 1 that night. But that was after that summer of like me keeping them in the media, like about the abysmal conditions of the schools and like the trailers and the mold and all the other nasty ass stuff. Like it was really just, anyway. The fact that they have, and this is the irony in that, Kirk, I hope you see this. Just put this on your radar. The irony in that is, you and I both know that summer who got involved, who was standing in the way of things, who was retaliating and threatening people and threatening their teachers and their staff inside Region 1, right? We all know who threw that child into the media as a terroristic threat. And that child happened to be on the spectrum and had been cleared within 2 hours. And my son definitely was sitting in the classroom when that incident took place, and nobody else was even in that room other than that child and one other child and my son and the teacher. Meaning literally nobody. Literally nobody was affected. Because my son's immediate reaction once finding out that his friend was online or being actively dragged for something he'd been cleared of, my son begged me to get him out of the media and to do whatever I had to do. He's like, Mom, he's like Elam. He doesn't know what he did. He was just repeating something he heard in a movie. So that's when I asked WSB TV, I asked them, where did your source come from? Who gave you this story? Because all of my media contacts hit me up and they were like, why in the hell is your face involved with this? I was like, yeah, I was actually trying to figure out like what's going on here and why it's them and not y'all. And then they told me who the source was. Well, you know, she got confronted by 3 board reps and who were pissed off. And she ended up getting demoted. And then she was moved over into the Horizon schools, to which I said, what the fuck? And then now she is a principal at Oak Cliff. Not naming names, I'm just putting the school's name out there, but she definitely has a record. I'm like in a spot where, do I want to show everybody what the complaint that I filed looked like when I reported her to the Georgia PSC? Do I want to show people those receipts? Do I want to take it to that level? Because
you're not saying her name, do you really?
I'm not saying names. I'm saying a school. Like I said, a school because that's where she's assigned. But her Georgia PSC credentials don't allow her. She should not be in proximity of children. At least the last time I checked. Which is why she was demoted. Well, that and because of the retaliation against parents and I mean, she used to retaliate against my principal all the time. She put my principal and like my kids' teachers on gag orders all the time. But in 2019, like, it was when we were raising hell about the conditions of the schools and the trailers. Like, I went into my yearly like IEP meeting that I have before the school year starts, and she was in my IEP meeting. I was like, "Hi, didn't invite you. Why aren't you?" Like, I was like, "Why are you here?" I asked her that. I was like, "Why are you here?" I was just here today. I was like, "Were you?" Because it kind of looks like you guys are out there power washing the trailers that are riddled with mold that have been all over the media this year. Is that why you're here? Is it to monitor that and to make sure it's all nice and shiny for open house tomorrow? She got a little twitchy. And I was like, well, if you're going to stay in my IEP meeting, you may as well sign your name on this document just as everybody else in this room has done. And I made her sign it. And she signed it. She got mad. And then when she left that meeting, I made sure she signed it, and I made sure the notes reflected what time she said she was leaving and what time she exited the room. And I also had her sign the sheet as she walked out. True story. And it's on recording. But not that that matters. Because, okay, I stopped relying on just audio a long time ago. And transcripts a long time ago. And so I've been doing this thing for years now, like where I film everything in real time. Like all the board meetings and like just Georgia poll, all that stuff. Georgia board meeting, like BOU meetings, like you name it, doesn't matter. No one's exempt. I record everybody. The reason that I do that is because I realized that it didn't matter who said what on those recorded IEP meetings that were 6 hours long. There was always going to be somebody that was going to say otherwise. And so then it was the parent against the parent. It was on me to prove to the state that, oh no, this was said and this was done. Here is a gigantic amount of evidence for you, unfortunately, to dig through to prove that what they just replied with an email to you is false. Burden of proof, which, by the way, at the federal level has been lifted. So, I don't know if there are any parents out there feeling frisky this year. You know, the burden of proof is no longer on the parent when we get into these settings anymore, as it pertains to education. So if you go into due process, the burden of proof is not yours. It's the school district's responsibility to explain how they did not, or how they did or did not provide an education, how they did or did not deny faith, how they did or did not, you know, all the things like that. It's the burden of proof of the districts. It's no longer on the parent. But that just recently got ruled on. Back in the old days, it was on the parents. I'm kind of just talking through this because I'm mad. I'm mad because I got to a point that I was extremely happy, and I was like in my bag. I was just happy. And then yesterday happened. And then this morning happened. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. I don't understand the why. I don't know who it benefits. Because it's not benefiting me. It's not benefiting kids. It's not benefiting the district. It's not benefiting anybody. The amount of stalking and invasion of just my everything. Dr. Green wasn't even that creepy. Okay? He at least said stuff. He was like pretty vocal. At least with him you knew that he was a piece of shit. Because he said it out loud. You knew where you stood with him. He said it. Everybody knew that. But, like, it's a whole different ballgame. Now I'm like, wow, this is, like, extra. So, but, oh, no, it didn't work. Sorry. The tank top I'm making my daughter, that failed. I'm gonna have to use the other stuff. Anyway, so the landscape of dealing with attorneys in school districts has been an absolute nightmare for a lot of people, and I've been pretty immune from it since, well, no. God, I want to say I've been immune from it, but I haven't. It's 5 years later. I mean, like, fuck. My kid was in 4th grade when we left. He's entering 10th grade. So, yeah. Still, I get like these 2-year hiatuses where I don't have to deal with this shit, and then inevitably something happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go again. With that being said, I don't know if this. Oh my god, what is this? Anyway, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Hold on. I don't care. I don't understand why school districts decided to use all their money to prevent children from learning. I don't know why I'm looking at board agendas that have copious amounts of money being spent on programs that have been debunked, that per legislation in the state of Georgia you're not even supposed to be fucking using. It's like it's like school districts, administrative staff, and attorneys. I know the main law firm that is responsible for teaching school districts to behave this way, which, again, there's a giant argument for that. Because they were the ones, ironically, that came after me last year for something I didn't even, like, I wasn't involved with. Just dead ass sent me a letter. I'm like, I filmed a fucking board meeting. What are you doing? So, this is where I say, as much as I wanted to, as excited as I was about, like, this new endeavor and, like, all the stuff that I was going to start doing, like, I no longer give a fuck about it. Because I can't even, like, I can't focus, I can't function, I can't get anything done. Like, so the PTSD kicked in real fucking quick. I haven't really had a rage flare yet today. I say yet, but I kind of did. Because when I read my email this morning from my attorney, I was like, the fuck? And I just hurled something back at him. But again, he's not mad at me. He's not mad at me. He was just like, just run it through me first. I was like, yo, I did. Like, what the fuck? You know, I used to actually want people to be empathetic, and I wanted people to be of the see something, say something, and hold others accountable. But I realize now that by doing that, I've actively placed myself and my family in harm's way, because I can't get out of this whole fucking cycle of wanting to make sure everybody's okay. Even though they don't belong to me. Even though there's nothing monetary, like, nothing. There's no compensation for any of the shit that I do. So, you know, it's kind of bizarre to see that Satan himself, Stephen Green, Satan himself didn't make me feel this way. Well, he didn't really threaten me. He was just a piece of shit, and he did stupid things, and then he got fired for doing stupid things. But again, he was really consistent about the fact that he was an asshole. We didn't have somebody like playing Jekyll and Hyde. Like, they had a persona that they put on for the public, and then they had another persona, an email. Is dinner ready?
Oh.
Oh, okay. We didn't have, like, the Jekyll and Hyde syndrome. that we have now. And I just want to put this out there again, and I'm going to wrap it up. I desperately need you guys to hear this. If you can somehow relay this to Decaters, please relay this to Decaters or to any media outlet that actually gives a shit about kids and their parents.
I'm helping Grandma making dinner.
Okay.
She's in the bathroom right now, though.
TMI. Okay, Farrell.
Hey, you stole something else.
I didn't steal it. I found it from downstairs, and I can use it whenever I want. I bought it. Peace out. No, ma'am. Back out. That way. That way. Sorry. Anyway, so if anybody wants to relay this to the people over at Decaters or any of the local media outlets, that'd be great. Let them know that the thing that I sent months ago about the Emperor's clothing is definitely on full display. And then the rest of the media outlets need to understand that, like, the district is actively burning down. The data, the enrollment, the decline in enrollment, the scores, which ironically that's what I'm sure Kirk is going to speak at, because, you know, that's what Kirk and I do, because Kirk and I like to fucking just shoot ourselves in the face all the time. It's like a train wreck. We can't help it. Like, we just keep going back. It's just, we try not to, but it happens. It's like hold on. I don't know. Somebody's watching this, so I'm guessing it's probably my friend. Hi, honey. Anyway, if any of the media outlets actually give a fuck and can get their heads out of the asses of the dumb ass talking points that we as a state with education reporters tend to lean in on, which no one gives a fuck about, by the way, just as an FYI. No one actually gives a shit about SEL, okay? No one gives a shit about 9 of the, I want to say 8 of the 10 things you guys talk about all the time. No one gives a fuck. You know who cares about that shit? Politicians. That's it. You're writing articles for politicians. You're not writing articles giving a voice to parents. You're just like the literacy community. You're just like every other fucking community. You're an echo chamber. You live in a fucking bubble and you just repeat the same thing. You see one person write about it and then you're like, oh, let me go write about it and put a different spin. But none of it actually fucking matters. It doesn't help anybody. You haven't changed the trajectory of a single child's life since 2020. Not once. You've had ample opportunities to do so, but you've done nothing. Maybe some of that falls on me because I walked and I didn't want to have anything to do with the media again. But I'm not going to say that I'm the only one that's been talking to the media about this stuff. I know for a fact that the media has actively been asking questions and they're talking to the same people that I've always talked to and that I'm friends with. But yet you motherfuckers won't publish any of it because God forbid you get your credentials to, you know, have a front row seat. That is the nightmare of what parents and students have to deal with. God forbid you're on their bad side. God forbid you get called out by name. Where did your fucking balls go? Yeah. I want to know where your balls went. And that applies to women too. The journalists, the women out there. Cassidy, you know. I'm just I'm just curious, like, with all these endeavors you guys have, none of you have done anything to fucking stop the hemorrhaging and the bleeding. The declining enrollment numbers falls on you. It falls in your lap. The fact that it took till 2025 to have that conversation with not just one. I'm not gonna pick on just the caterers. I'm gonna say the declining enrollment conversation should have been out there immediately, which again I was immediately asked by 3 different outlets what I thought, as was the vocal parents that I know. But yeah, let's wait till 2025 to address the elephant in the fucking room. Why is it that parents of children inside special ed or children that have IEPs, why is it we have to fight so fucking hard to make the most obvious things good enough for y'all? It's really fucked up. Where we are like actively trying to take a whole school district out and trying to hold them accountable for the damage that's been done, and at the same time we're having to explain, as Ty Tagging Me says all the time, give it to me in 5 words or less. That's how the media cycle works. The headline has to grab you that quick. 5 words or less. That's the bar. Like I said, I'm not really a partisan person. I've never been. But you know who I will give kudos to? And you can all get in your feels about this. I don't give a fuck. I'll give kudos to Mother Jones. Because as partisan as they are, they at least do the work. They stay the course. They actively investigate, and they remain on the course, and they don't release anything until it's they are really good at timing. They just keep gathering the info, and then they drop it right when it needs to be dropped. I interviewed with them last year about, I can't even fucking remember at this point, but yeah, I talked to them last year. It was about Moms for Liberty and why they were like invading the literacy space and shit like that. And I was like, okay, shiny object syndrome. Like they just that's just a thing they're doing. It's a fucking abysmal hellhole. That's why. But I'll give Mother Jones props for what they do. Bitter Southerner. Who's that? Oh god, it's like my favorite clothing company. They made this shirt. This is the shirt that says "Do no harm, but take no shit." It's like the Bee and Fox. Them, yes. So they're very good with their messaging too, and they don't shy away, and they don't back down, and they don't give a fuck if they are liked or not. They don't care who they make mad, as long as they're calling it out, and they're of the see something, say something ilk. I can't say that that's what the rest of the media outlets do in the state of Georgia. Like right now, you're actively ignoring the fact that Epstein files were, per FOIA, you know, the Oompa Loompa's name was redacted in areas all through the files, and you're actively ignoring the biggest thing. You're ignoring the fact that neither Chris Carr nor Burt Jones, who are running for governor, who have prided themselves on sex trafficking, right, that they're stopping it, not one of those individuals running for governor has actively said anything about that. That could literally make your fucking career, but you guys are like floundering around. Hold on. There's actually something I had that like came up, and I was like, "Ooh, what?" I didn't find it again. It was something about Jeff Duncan. Hold on. I don't know where Greg posted it. I think he may have posted it here. I'm gonna look real quick, and then I'm gonna jump off here. I like that energy I just saw. Okay, former Lieutenant Jeff Governor. Okay, so here, you want to meet somebody with balls? Former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan on his switch from Republican to Democrat. My decision was centered around my daily struggle to love my neighbor as a Republican. But, you know, nobody's paying attention to the fucking landscape and politics in Georgia either. It's just fucking dead on arrival every time. That's why I don't fucking subscribe to any of this shit. So, but this is also the funniest part is that Kemp has actively got bigger balls than a lot of people, and like him or not, I don't, but whatever. At least he stands on what he says. He's out here just like ignoring the Trump administration because like they wanted him to work in like together for the person on the Republican side to run against Jon Ossoff, which I've said from the beginning is not going to fucking happen. So yeah, he met with the administration. I think it's like 3 weeks ago now, maybe. But yeah, he definitely just said fuck it and went with who he wanted to go with, and he did not go with somebody that the Trump administration wanted him to go with. He did the opposite. He went for money. Not really money, but he went for the anti nomination. And I say that he went for somebody who hasn't been tainted by politics yet. Last name is Dooley, Greg Dooley. I already know. I already know who that is. Like I knew as soon as he said it. I was like, that makes sense. Like he's not in the fucking weeds. He doesn't get in the middle of bullshit. But again, I'm still gonna die on the hill of why the fuck hasn't anybody like I don't know done expose on Jason Carter and all the reasons why Jason Carter needs to be doing some politics stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna get off that because that's not what people tune into on my Instagram channel. They like to look at the train wreck that's my life. So that's why you're getting granted access to the train wreck that's my life today. Because if I don't get this out, I'm not liable for what I may or may not say tomorrow. Because one thing about PTSD, when it gets flared up again, when it gets triggered, you never know. You never fucking know. 1 minute you can be fine. 1 minute you can be talking to your best friend saying, look, I just needed to see you. I just needed to talk to you so I could talk myself off the cliff. And then all of a sudden, something randomly comes across your brain at 10:30 at night and you're like, fuck that. And you hurl off just an email and then you're like, oops, probably shouldn't have done that. Oopsie, can't take that back. And then, the fallout inevitably happens. So, there's a whole bunch of info dump for everybody, but yeah, I went missing because I wanted to, but also because I was trying to protect my sanity. I was trying to protect my family. I was trying to do all the things right. I was trying to make up for all the things that I thought that I had caused or done wrong. It was not me. It was just everybody else. I was just a casualty of all that fuck shit. But, you know, this is why my kids will never walk into they'll never see the inside of a public school ever. Ever. My daughter will never know what public school is. Ever. She's not an experiment, nor is my son. My son spent all summer working at his school, and he refused to not go back. Like, he refused. Like, he had a really shitty day one week. Here at the end. Somebody got sick, and so he was the only one that could take that cohort. And I was like, baby, you don't have to go back. And it wasn't like a work ethic issue. It was just a conversation I was letting him know. I'm like, look, I know what you're doing. I've been that person. I've been the person that goes and I repeatedly show up, and I continue to do it because I want to make sure everything's okay and everything's done. But nobody is going to ever pay that forward to you. That was the lesson. He didn't care. His response was, Mom, these kids can't just not have me. These kids need me. I'm not going to just let anybody have them. He's 15. And he repeatedly called out the disgusting. He just repeatedly all summer. Why the fuck are they having to pay that much money to learn to read? Why are their parents having to like take out loans and whatever just so their kids can learn to read? Why? And I didn't have an answer for him. I just said, that's just how it works. And this is how it is. He's like, but it's not fair because parents shouldn't have to be you. And I've talked about that before, and I don't want to go down that road again, but my son said it over and over. He's like, that nobody should have to be you. Nobody should have to do these things. And even after all the shit he's been through, that kid refuses to give up. He refuses to walk away from these other kids. He won't. And oh, by the way, to my son's school, if you see this Oak House, I'll tag you on this phone. Congratulations to my son's school. I can officially say it since it's August 5th. They are now Cognia accredited, which super proud of them. They have accreditation in just 2 SACs, and then I think it's also SAIS. I can't ever pronounce, like, I don't know. That's just the abbreviation for the independent schools. But yeah, they got they're accredited out of the wazoo, and they have a wait list. But go ahead and keep telling us that thinking outside of the box won't work. There's a lot of parents willing to think outside of the box these days and willing to put their children in schools that support that outside of the box. And I am so fucking proud of Makala and Jennifer, Liam, and everybody else involved at Oak House. I'm so fucking proud of them. I'm like their biggest fangirl. They know that. So yeah. If you guys don't see me for a long time again, just understand, like, it's because of self-preservation and because I'm not going to put this version of my PTSD on display for people again. Nobody's gonna get to sit and watch this version again. I'm sorry, Ashley, if you see this, I know you're gonna get upset. But as strong as I want to be, I can only take so much. So this is, yeah. This is where I'm at. All because of the audacity of me being proud of what I was doing. And then that being taken out of context and used against. I'm not even going to get into it again, but it's just like the invasion of my everything doesn't just affect me. I have got a husband. I've got 2 children every single time. You keep forgetting that I've got children and I have a husband who he has been through hell and back. And I don't want to put him through this again. But it's not going to be just me this time. Because I made sure to inform people in Muskogee County, because that's where my advocate and mentor lives. I made sure Brenda knew. I've given Brenda absolutely everything. Brenda and I share the same attorney. So Muskogee County is going to catch a lot of hell. Because Brenda is not happy with what was done. And like I said, the Georgia DOE did us a favor and they put all that shit on display for us. And they said the data source came directly from the vendor. Kind of hard to argue that, huh? Who did what? Where'd that data come from? But, you know. Long drawn out process. I said I didn't want. Now I'm feeling kind of frisky and feeling like I might just make it drag out and I might just, I don't know, get all of those agencies fired up. I got 2 of them fired up yesterday immediately, as I said I would. I think there's some details that I left out. I need to wrap back around to the other agencies who were extremely curious and wanted to take this entire thing on. Maybe just wrap back around to them, because one of the investigations is wrapped up and been referred out. So technically, I was told once that one did that I needed to come back and I needed to file with these other departments. That's what the field office said in Atlanta. I think I'm just going to take them up on it. At this point, fuck it. I tried the easy way. I did everything. So, here it goes. Bye-bye.